emergency coronavirus epidemic broadcast from the Knights Templar International Order. I hope everybody who watched it yesterday is still with us. I noticed just today that the death rate yesterday in Italy is now up to 500-600 a day and rising. So that's where we are. So we've got some good stuff today. We've got some really good different articles and stuff to look at. Some about the Queen as well. And we have cooking with the Templars. So we'll go through all that very shortly. But first, as I said at the very beginning, I'm going to start every day with the Lord's Prayer, or an Our Father, as the Catholics would call it, but it doesn't matter in these times. So, and you'll notice that I say it traditional Scottish way, where I use the word debtors and debts instead of trespassing. But you say whatever way you want to say it. And again, I want you to say it with me, because it's probably, for a lot of people, not all the people, but a lot of people, it's probably 40 years, as you said it. You maybe said it in school, or Sunday school, or school assembly when you were young. But you know, and again, I'll reiterate, especially the Brits and the Irish, you know, people keep ranting and raving, especially right-wing people, you know, about Muslims taking over, Islam taking over, our churches shutting down, mosques opening up, blah, 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 blah. But they don't do anything. And they bang on about, this is a Christian country. Well, if it is, follow me and recite this prayer. If you don't know the words to it, we'll put it up on our website, and then you'll know them. Or we might start putting it up on the screen so you can recite with me. And again, I make the sign of the cross, but I do it in the Eastern Orthodox fashion, because I'm not a Roman Catholic, and I don't want to confuse people, especially Protestants, to think, why is he doing that? So I do it in this. And the reason I actually make the sign of the cross, because most Protestants don't, it's a public act of witness. Because we live in times now where Christians are frightened of their own shadow, and people are frightened to declare it. And the good thing is the Catholics have always had it, so they can do this openly, and people say, Catholic, Orthodox, Greeks, Russians, they do it. And people say, Christian people, Orthodox. So I do it. But I do it in the Orthodox fashion, because some of our people yesterday come on to us and say, Jim, you're doing it the wrong way around. No. It's the wrong way around for Roman Catholics, but it's not. It's the correct way around for the other third of Christendom, which is the Russian and Greek Orthodox traditions, and I think the Coptics as well. So let's start with the Lord's Prayer again. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, folks, that's us. We're going to turn everybody into fundamentalists by the end of this. No, I think it's good for people to get back to their tradition, and traditionally our countries are Christian. We're always going on about it, so let's live it. Let's do it for real. So who's on here today? John Van Auken, hello there. How you doing, John? EMS, how you doing? Nice to see you. Jonathan Boudin, hello, brother. God bless you. Familiar Stranger, Sentinel, I don't know this, and get said rightly, I don't know this, I know the way I say it. Okay, Robert Erickson, yeah, okay, how you doing? And good gracious, you won't believe who's on here, on this feed. My old pal, Nick Griffin. How you doing, Mr. Griffin? Nice to see you on the feed. I hope you're keeping well. I know you're wearing on in years. You need to watch yourself with the virus. Are you locked away in your stronghold? Good to see Nick Griffin on there. There's a blast from the past. And if men are listening to Nick Griffin, what's going to happen wouldn't happen. But there we go. John Geddes, nice to see you, John. Nice to see you. And Niall McConnell, big Niall from Donegal. A big, decent patriot from Donegal. Best man in Ireland, if you ask my opinion. Not afraid of being an Irish Catholic, because in Ireland now, you won't believe this, it's almost like a sin. Even the right-wing nationalist parties are saying, don't talk about being an Irish Catholic. People don't like it. To hell with people not liking it. You are what you are. And I like McConnell because he says it straight. Well done. Giselle, hail you from Canada. Colton Biggerstaff, how you doing? And all these other people, again, you'll know by now, or you should, that I'm blind as a bat, so I find reading that board very difficult. But what have we got for you today? Well, I'm going to start off with some good stuff. Then I'll take you through some pictures and some footage of what's coming in now from Europe, because as we said, it's all beginning to hit the fan. There's a surprise. And the Queen has given the message, the Queen of, well, people say the Queen of England, but the Queen of dozens of countries, because she's still the Queen of Canada and the Queen of Australia and the Commonwealth and everything. So the Queen has gave out a message today. So I'll tell you about that later. But let's get into some good stuff. Now, I said the other day I could teach you how to make a gallon of soup for $1. Maybe not $1, maybe a couple of dollars. But it's no more than $2. Because I know some of the Texan guys were on my back. You want to watch them Texans, you see Big Frank from Texas and some of the Templar boys there. Good lads. And Louisiana were having a real go at me for saying, how do you do that? Show us. Well, I'm going to show you. What I've noticed in the last few weeks, a lot of young people, and I say young people, anybody under 40 to me is young, but they're running about going to these shops and they're buying daft stuff. They're buying tins of this and tins of that. No nutritionist value. All these tin foods have been zapped and atomized and reconstituted, pasteurized, boiled up, cooled down, tinned. There's nothing in them. And like things like cornflakes, people are buying bags of cornflakes. Let me tell you, you'll be as well eating the box than eating the content. There's nothing in them. Do no good for you. So I'm going to show you how to make, not how to make, because I'm not a cooker here, although I might get to that stage and I'll show you that as well. I know Mr. Griffin, he had a cooking programme once. And I remember it was met by derision. Wouldn't be met by derision now because people need to know how to do this. Yep, Orthodox tradition. I have no problem with the Orthodox. And the Orthodox Church is really solid, very good. So I want to tell you first of all what we can do cheap, because now everybody's got a lot of money, and now everybody's been banned from going to their work. People are struggling for money. I've got an advantage because I am a Scotsman. And not only that, a double advantage, I'm an Ulster Scotsman. So the Scotsmen are tight, Ulster Scotsmen are watertight. Every pound's a penny. In fact, in our country we have these hexagonal coins, or octagonal, I don't know what they are, corners on them, and people said they invented those so that people could use a spanner to wrench out a Scotsman's hand. So we're tight, and I'm going to show you how to do things on the cheap. So, I shall reach down into my bag, bear with me. Okay. I'll put this bag up here. Is that bag okay? There's no reflecting, is it? Okay. Okay. So we have this. This is a bag of mixed vegetables. Okay. So there is things in here. What is it? Leeks, carrots, celery, parsnip. So it weighs half a kilo. Now I'm lucky because I live in the place where they grow this for the most of the UK, County Down. So this costs like 50p. Okay. So cut vegetables, but you can get them yourself. And if you're a wee bit of a botanist, you can get out into the fields and get this stuff yourself from nature. But there you go. Mixed vegetables. So you take your bag of mixed vegetables, get yourself a big pot that can hold a gallon, 8 pints. Now what's that in litres? 5 litres. You can hold 5 litres, okay? Big pot. Big industrial pot. Before you put this in, you could maybe put some chopped onions in with some oil. Just brown it a wee bit, maybe even a drop of garlic, just give it a bit of flavour, brown it. And then throw these boys in. What you need then is some stock cubes, which I don't have. I don't have stock cubes. You need to get some stock cubes or a big bone from any kind of animal. Stick that in, fill it with water, let it boil up a bit, get the flavours, the juices, the marrow all out of that, so all the good stuff's in that water. And what you'll have done beforehand, the night before, who's shouting at me? Huh? Beef stew, aye, good stew. So what you can do, you can make your own beef, but a lot of people live in apartments and flats, they don't have access to any of that stuff. You know, we don't all live in the country. Now what's this here? This is pearl barley. You see that? Pearl barley. It's, how much is it weigh? 500 grams. For the Americans, I don't know how much that is, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot, look. To make a gallon of soup, you'd only need about that, a third of this. Now, the night before, you steep this in water. You let it soak in water. They'll all swell up and drain off the scum and whatnot. And when you're ready, you can put it in the soup. This is actually a soup mix, but it's mainly lentil. Mainly lentil. Again, a third of that will make a gallon of soup. So steep it the night before. So when you've got your big pot boiled up, you've got your stock in it, you've got your vegetables and everything in it, then you can put these in. And you can also put your salt, your pepper, your seasoning. It's as simple as this. Put the lid on and simmer it. Simmer it for about an hour. If you've got some leeks, if you've got some turnip, if you've got some potato, anything you can find, throw it all in. And in an hour, you won't believe it, but these little guys, these little pearl barley things will have swollen up about 10 times their size. And believe me, even in a gallon of soup, just with a third of one of these packets, some vegetables and some beef stuff in it, you will be able to stand a spoon in that soup. That's how thick and glutinous it'll be. You'll be able to stand a spoon in it. No artificial colourings, no artificial preservatives, but you'll have a big pot like this with a gallon of soup, 8 pints of soup, a gallon of soup, 5 litres of soup. Can you imagine it? All fresh, all highly nutritious and all very good for you, and it took you, 10 minutes? 5 minutes to put all the stuff in the pot and an hour boiling it up. That's it, take it off the heat, leave it be. Your whole family can dip bread in that, and it'll last roughly, depending on the weather, it'll last roughly 3 days. If you keep it cool, it'll last 3 days, no problem. And of course, as you're eating the dinners during those days, any bits of meat, any bits of chicken, any pickings off bones, any pickings off a chicken carcass or a leg of lamb or whatever you've got, just throw it in the soup. Give it a stir. Nothing's going to waste, and you can heat it up a few times and put any bones you've got in it, and that'll pull out all the nutritious values from the marrow of the bones, and you won't believe how good that is. It's delicious. It'll keep you going, and if you're in a tight spot, that could be the difference of you having a rumbling belly, or your kids having a rumbling belly, and being stuffed. So that's that. Now there's some other good stuff I want to show you. Cheap, nutritious stuff. These guys, can you see them? Sardines, little tin. Look at the size of it. It costs like 40 cents, 30 pence, 30 pennies. Sardines, okay. Now this one is done in tomato sauce. Just get the ones done in oil. But let me tell you the protein in this. Oh, if I can see. My goodness, this writing's very small, isn't it? They must make this for young fellas. Okay, protein. Where are we? Protein. Da-da-da-da-da. Phew, can hardly see it. Don't know where the protein is. Ah, here we are. Here we are. 33 grams. Believe it or not. 33 grams of protein in this. The whole tin is only 120 grams. 33 grams of protein in this. That's what a man needs for a day, really. So that's really good food. That's superfood. You're dealing with superfood here. So you could buy 100 tins of this for like 20 quid or 30 quid. 100 tins of them. You know, eating one a day, that'll last you 3 months. Can you imagine it? Or a family of 3 lasts you a month. And cheap. Because I know people are really getting tight with the money now. It's terrible. The other superfood, and I grew up with this, is pork luncheon meat. Now, the thing with sardines, by the way, the thing with sardines and this tin food, there is best buy dates on it, because you've got to do this by law. But the best buy date on this is like 5 years from now. But if you keep these in cool, dry places, they basically don't go off. You get 10 years out, and hopefully this will be over by then, or we'll be dead. One of the two. This thing here's got a 5-year date on it as well. This is pork luncheon meat, or even better, it's corned beef. Now, when I was young, we were very poor, so this is the closest we ever got to meat. Now, this is good stuff as well, because in 100 grams of this here, let me tell you, in 100 grams of this, you've got 28 grams of fat, of which 9 grams is saturated fat, carbohydrates, very little, but protein, you've got 14 grams of protein in 100 grams. This tin is 300 grams, so you've got a lot of protein in this and a lot of fats, because you need fats. People keep telling you fats are bad for you. Well, now the science will say they're good for you. Well, I could have told you, they're good for you. You need them. Your body requires them. So again, this tin is about 50 pence, about 65 cents. Lasts forever. Indestructible. You don't even need to heat it. You don't need to heat these either. You don't need a heat source. You can just eat these. Bags of these barley and lentils and things like that last forever and ever and ever. You'll be dead before these rot. And that's it. Now, the other interesting thing that I want to show you, and this is very interesting, and Glaswegians have got the lowest. We've got the lowest age of death in the developed world because we fry everything. I know the Texans are like this. The guys even fry jalapenos. I was in Texas. They actually fry jalapenos. Incredible. Deep fry them. Brilliant. I love it. Because Glaswegians throughout the world, Scotsmen throughout the world, have got the reputation of deep frying everything. We even deep fry candy bars, like Mars bars. We deep fry them. We batter. You know, the way you batter a fish, we batter a Mars bar, deep fry it. We deep fry pizzas. We batter a pizza and we deep fry it. Absolutely ridiculous. But keep you going. Extremely unhealthy. If you live on that for a few years, you will die. And Glaswegians have got the lowest lowest age of death in the developed world, about 56 for a Glaswegian, and that's his life expectancy because he's eating all this fried stuff. Why? Because we're poor. So we need the calorific value, but we don't have the money to fill ourselves up with good quality protein. So what do? I'll show you. I had to tape this lid down because it was leaking everywhere. Oil, cooking oil. This sunflower oil. Now, a lot of health freaks will say, oh, it's not good for you. Well, I'll tell you what's not good for you, no eating at all. That's even worse for you. That'll kill you immediately. This will kill you slowly over 20, 30 years. And I'm not recommending you do this for 20, 30 years, although I have, and I'm the picture of health, as you can see. So, in this bottle, it's a 2-litre bottle. There is approximately, let me tell you, there's 900 calories in 100 grams. So there's 9,000 calories in a litre. There's 18,000 calories in this 2-litre. 18,000 calories. It's not a big bottle. 18. They've got 20,000 calories in there. So, if all else fails, and again, it's no great sacrifice for me because I love it, and I do it most days. 2 slices of bread, have a frying pan hot, put some oil in it, put a lot of that oil in it, have it nice and hot. 2 slices of bread. Do you want that down? Okay. 2 slices of bread. Throw it in. 15 seconds on one side. Flip them. 15 seconds on the other. Take the bread out. It's used up all the oil. And those 2 slices of bread will give you about 1,700 calories. Seriously. Bang. Done. Job done. 1,700 calories in it. Boom. With 2 slices of bread. Now, I'm sure I'm going against every nutrition doctor, health freak in the world's advice. I know that. But we're talking here, we're in a crisis. If you want to stay alive and you have no money and you've only got a bit of bread in the house and some oil, bang, 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 you've got enough calorific value in you to last you a day. I knew the Glaswegians' hideously unhealthy diet would come in useful one day, and it has. So these are the simple things. Every day I'm going to show you something different. So remember, tinned corned beef, or what do you call this, pork luncheon meat, sardines, pearl barley, lentils, and cooking oil. Now, if you've got a bit more money, you can replace the cooking oil with butter. Butter's another superfood. Unbelievable, even more nutritious than the oil. And if you've even a wee bit more money, buy huge amounts of cheese. Cheese is brilliant. And in this country, my ancestors, up to my grandfather's time, in Scotland, we would go to work in the morning with oat cakes. If you get oatmeal, like porridge, you can make cakes out of them and heat them on the stove. So we would go to work with them and a big block of cheese or butter. In England, they went to work with bread and a big lump of cheese. So this is how we lived for hundreds of years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Of course, we blame Maggie Thatcher for our health. No, it's just her diet. But, and the Irish always had the spuds, the potatoes, and usually a big lump of butter. So that's how we lived for 300 or 400 or 500 years. Seriously. That's all a man would eat in a whole day. You maybe had a feast day where somebody would have a pig or a lamb or something we could get our hands on. But that was maybe once or twice a year, So every day we ate oat cakes or bread, butter and cheese. That was it. So if it kept our ancestors alive and they managed to fight all those wars, it'll keep you alive. So just remember these wee simple tricks. It might seem irrelevant now because everyone's relatively normal. But in 3 months from now, or in 6 months from now, you might have to remember this and it'll do the world of good. Now the other thing is, this is green, so I don't know how long it'll for. Flour. Go and buy yourself a few bags of flour. It's dead easy to make bread. Or if you're really lazy, like a Glaswegian, everything you get, coat it in flour and deep fry it. I'll give you an example, and the Texans know about this. They deep fry jalapenos, they deep fry mushrooms. A mushroom is basically useless. I don't know why God gave us mushrooms. They're utterly useless. There's nothing in them, no calorific value, nothing at all. Useless things. However, if you get some flour and put some garlic powder in or some spices, lovely spices like the Texans do, well, they're almost Mexicans now. Sorry, Frank. You can make the flour flavourable, coat the mushrooms in egg, dip it in the flour, again, deep fry it. All of a sudden, a useless thing like a mushroom is turned into a very nutritious dish, and a plate of them will keep you going all day. Of course, it's the batter on it that's doing it, but that's fine. So, there's lots of things you can do. Mushrooms grow wild. You can go and get them yourself, but be extremely careful. You need to know what you're doing. But even if mushrooms are easy grown, they're easy bought, and that'll keep you going as long as you batter them. So, Glaswegian super chef Mr. Dowson says, deep fry everything if you're under pressure. Yes, it'll probably take a couple of years off your life at the other end, but at least you'll get through this present crisis. Okay, what do you think of that? Super chef or what? Huh? Do you think I'm going to be, after this, invited on any of these swanky TV chef programs? Cooking for the apocalypse? Kitchen nightmares, yes. But hey, listen, I know how to stay. I grew up in abject poverty in Glasgow. We went days without food sometimes. It's no joke. It's late 60s, early 70s. We went a couple of days now and again without food. End of story. So you've got to learn how to do these things. I know Mr. Griffin, when I worked with him for many years, and he's told me some stories where he used to go and get roadkill and cook badgers and everything, all sorts of stuff. So, yep, I've got to confess, I don't think I told him at the time, but I have also done this. I have also went and deliberately chased pheasants up my road to run them over and hopefully not squash them. Just hit them in the head with a car, jump out, grab them. I've done it with rabbits, jumped out, strangled them, broke their neck, took them home and ate them. But young people now are different. And Mr. Griffin, who's on the feed today, if he was here personally, would tell you, when he was an MEP, this is nothing to do with it. I'm just going to give you a wee story here if you don't mind. Use some time. When he was an MEP, he had a big house in Brussels. And we were out one day and we ran over a hare. A hare's like a big giant rabbit with the big ears, big legs. We ran it over, got out, grabbed it, killed it, threw it in the back of the car. And we came into the house and we threw it down on the table. And two young men, tough young men, ran away screaming, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing?" And that was me, Mr. Griffin says, "We're going to skin it and eat it," which we did. Now, these two same men, one of them runs a full-blown right-wing political party in Britain now, well known, and the other guy has just set up a new right-wing political party and is one of the biggest YouTube stars talking about right-wing stuff in Britain. Two guys, I'm not going to name them, but one runs an established party, and the other one runs a new party and has a massive online following. Say no more about that. Anyway, we'll have to quickly get through this because time is against us. So, I've been telling you that the virus is not the main problem. It's the breakdown of our industry. Our economy is going to be a big problem. But also the violence and the looting and the aggravation is going to be a huge problem. So I don't know if we can go to some of them. We'll go to them in a wee minute. There's been scenes now coming in from all over Europe, including Britain, of people going absolutely mental, stealing food and attacking staff in some of the shops. It's been really suppressed on the TV, but it's happening. In France, I'll show you one in France here first. Have a wee look at this. Paris. There you go, look at this. I don't see many Frenchmen here actually. Because unlike other people, I'm not a civic nationalist. A piece of paper it's German. So there we go. Who would have known, eh? Where else have we got? Sainsbury's. And this is where? London. Sainsbury's. Big supermarket chain in London. Watch this. It's unbelievable. Look at the mobs. Yeah. This is happening quite a lot now. And we're not even into this. My goodness, nobody's hungry yet. So, I dread to think. Any more? Okay. So this is what's happening. Nobody's going hungry yet. There's no need for this. But it just shows you these people have no control. And you've seen the ones there in London. My opinion. Are they British? We won't go into all that stuff now. But you know what I'm saying. You can see them. You know who they are. And there's no need for it. Absolutely no need for it. This is the beginning. But I want to also give a warning. Have we any of these fake videos? Fake ones, yeah. People have been putting out and they're not real. I want to show, look at this here. Look at this. People are putting these up on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all the rest of it and saying, oh, look, the armies are doing this and doing that. Well, two things. The picture's 2 years old. It's not real. And even if the army are on the streets, so what? They're our army. Big deal. This is all these conspiracy nuts and these wee pencil neck keyboard weirdos that run all these YouTube channels. They're just like old women, chattering women. Oh, have you seen this, seen this? They just want to gossip and... It's our army. Big deal. I used to walk down the street like that with a uniform on. I'm no danger to you. I'm a danger to the people who are trying to hurt you. So I'm fed up with it. And there's more examples of this. I don't know if I've got any more examples here right now, but this is extremely dangerous. And I'm bombarded, as I'm sure you are, on Twitter and on Facebook and on these WhatsApp, whatever these other channels are. We're bombarded by these fake stories, these scaremongering stories. Now, I want to be very clear on this. If you share this stuff, you are not a patriot. You're a traitor. And during the last wars, the First and Second World War, you would have been taken out and shot for weakening the war effort because you're freaking people out. There's no need for it. There's absolutely no need for this. So if you see anything that's portraying this or that, and there was videos going up about riots and shops, now we've had to go through them all the day. Nearly every single one of them was fake. The worst one, everybody fighting in a shop and climbing over each other, actually comes from a few years ago. It was Black Friday sales. Another one was an Apple shop when they were opening some new Apple, selling some new Apple phone. They were all fighting each other. All the ethnics, of course. But people are putting them up as real, which is happening now. We don't need this. Listen, people, this virus thing is going to be scary enough. It's going to be horrible enough without inventing stuff. Now, who does this? I'll tell you who does it. These wee creatures sit in their bedrooms putting stuff up. Because I want to explain something. I know we're going to run over time here, but I need to do this. 30 years ago, we all know these people. You know the little pencil neck, effeminate types? Never come down the pub with the boys, never joined the football team, wouldn't take their clothes off because in the shower. You know the type I'm talking about. The wee, useless, weaselly weeds. Them. Well, for hundreds and thousands of years, we never did any bother them because they just hid away in a corner. Oh, then they invented the internet. Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. What happened? Every one of them, in their mum's basement, they set up their wee camera. Hi people, how you doing? I'm the cleverest guy in the world, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. These are guys that are frightened to go out in the street. These are guys that cannot go down the pub for a pint. These are guys that can't even join the soccer team because they don't want to be in the shower with naked men because people will laugh at them and look at them with their wee scrawny bodies and their wee pencil necks. These are these guys. Now they're on YouTube telling you how brilliant they are and how tough they are and how manly they are. You won't see them for dust. But they're still on YouTube talking utter nonsense and giving people no advice whatsoever. I need to reiterate to you, do not watch these people. And unless they've got a huge or a credible organisation behind them, they're just one wee pathetic individual, small man in his room making videos to boost his ego. That's it. If they've not got an organisation behind them, they're not part of something bigger. When you're watching me on the Templar Report, I don't run this. We have thousands of Templars worldwide. I'm the one stupid enough to put my face out there. But that's it. But behind me, there's a massive worldwide organisation and militias in many, many countries and things like that. So don't watch these people who are telling you rubbish. And I'm getting my inbox filled with nonsense. People sending me videos. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? This could all be to do with 5G. Oh. Whether it is or not, it makes no difference. We've just got to deal with it. I don't want to know about all this rubbish. I don't have the time to go and research it. And I do that. Anybody sends me a video, I go and research who this guy is. 9 times out of 10, they're a nut, or a loony, or a wee weasel, pencil neck wimp whose only power is through this camera lens. I'm not interested in these guys, because if they were men at all, they'd be in something like the Templars, or the Oath Keepers, or the 3%ers, or some grown-up thing, or they'd be in the army, or the Marines, or the Territorials, or, they'd be in something, the National Guard. They would be in something where real men of action are. They wouldn't be sitting in their bedroom making daft videos. So, don't get me started on these people, but be very careful with them, because they're dangerous. Now, how long is this going to last? Well, this is a really good chart, and I want to show you this. People have got the wrong impression and they think that if we're locked down for 3 months, it'll all be over. No. You need to understand this. Now, our government, the British government, has been very honest. The American government has been very honest with people, but people are not listening because human beings, including me, we hear what we want to hear. So what they're trying to do with this massive lockdown now, which will be for 3 months, make no mistake about it, you're off your work for 3 months, is to try and stabilise the situation, because if everybody gets ill at the one time, the hospitals in America and in Britain can only treat about 10%. So we're trying to do a lockdown to level out the playing field, and it also gives the manufacturers of the respiratory devices, machines, time to make the supplies to treat other people. So we're going to be locked down for 3 months. You see this graph here? So we're up the spike nearly. So we'll be locked down for 3 months. So the infection rate will drop down. And after 3 months, they're going to let us all out again. And immediately they know this. The minute you walk out the door, loads are going to get it again. So it'll spike, then it'll lock us down again. So everyone will drop off. So this is a way of managing it. Now I just can't see that, but you can see that. What's the last date on that? What's the end date? You see it? This year or next year? This year. Next year. November next year, 2021. I'm going to repeat that. If you look at that curve chart, this is all the world health experts, all the governments, the American government, our government, everybody's government is agreeing that if we do it this way, we can manage it. But we'll be free from it, we hope, by November 2021. 18 months. No, it doesn't. It's still going then, but we reckon we'll have it on board then. Now, in that period, in that 18-month period from now, we may find a vaccine, we may find some kind of cure, or the Chinese might come on board again and start pumping these respiratory machines out. Then we won't need to be locked up. Because the Chinese can make more of these machines in a week than we can make in 6 months. As usual. They might fall apart in a few months, but they can make a lot of them. You know the deal with the Chinese stuff. But that's the reality. I wish I could tell you something different. I mean, if I was interested in viewers and the Templars were just trying to cajole you and get more viewers for the channel, we'd tell you what you wanted to hear and you'd be flocking here. Because there's people flocking to fake YouTube channels who are just telling the people rubbish and telling them nonsense and indulging people in the conspiracy theories. I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. I'll tell you what I'm interested in. Sardines. Food. Keeping our people alive, keeping our babies alive, keeping our children alive. I don't give a monkeys about conspiracy theories. Go and talk to some silly twittering washerwoman or some old boy with no teeth who's got nothing else to do with him this time than listen to daft conspiracies. Don't come to Jim Dowson and all the Templars when we're not interested. Thank you very much. Come to us with ideas and practical, not just ideas that you personally are prepared to do. So we're going to be launching soon humanitarian aid programs, where we will be asking for volunteers who will risk themselves to get out and about where we can, and setting up these kind of humanitarian emergency services and so on and so forth where it's needed. If it's not needed and the government's got it covered or the churches have got it covered, fine. But there's also churches we can work with. So we're going to be unveiling all that soon. We're working on it behind the scenes, and we will be doing that because that's what we need to do. Sadly, for the people who live in metropolitan areas, both here in Britain and in America and other places, Canada, maybe Australia, New Zealand. Well, not so much New Zealand, but most of the other Western countries where you have all these enrichers. It's going to be a nightmare. It's just going to be a living nightmare. The violence is going to be incredible. But I don't want people scaring folk with putting fake things up. We have to work with the authorities. We have to back the authorities. We have to back the government. We have to back the police. We have to back the army. And today, we know that all the reservists, for the Americans, actually the National Guard, we have territorial army people. They're all getting called up. These are part-time soldiers like the National Guard. Some of my own family's been called up. Some of my family are officers or trainee officers in the army. And they're all being put on duty. And by tomorrow, there'll be 20,000 troops on the streets of London. 20,000. And that's never happened since the Germans threatened to invade us. So by tomorrow, in 24 hours, 20,000 troops will be on the streets of London. And already I can see these pencil-necked idiots who run YouTube channels, these little neo-Nazi freaks. Oh, 20,000 troops in the street, 20,000 troops in the street. Calm yourself, there are troops. I say, praise God, thank God. Thank you, Boris Johnson and the government. Thank you, Her Majesty the Queen, for putting 20,000 of our best men on the streets to look after us. Amen, hallelujah, God bless them. Why are people freaking out because our troops are on our streets? Are you mad? Get a grip of yourself and understand what's happening. And if you pass those troops, tell them, thank you, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you for protecting us. God bless you. God be with you. And be nice to them. So that's where we are with that. And lastly, I want to just point out, have you got Her Majesty's thing? Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II? of Great Britain and Northern Ireland and the Dominions, including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and many other countries. Her husband, Prince Philip, has been airlifted out of Buckingham Palace, which is in the centre of London. He's off to Windsor Castle, and the Queen is there being driven from the city to Windsor Castle. It's quite a worry. Quite a worry why she's leaving the city, but she is an old lady in her 90s. She's served her country in uniform, I may add. So our Queen has given us a message of encouragement to band together. But it's a wee bit different nowadays, because when the Nazis threatened us in 1939, we were one nation, one people, one religion, one colour, one creed. And we did band together. And even though we were getting bombs dropped on us every single day, all our major cities were flattened. And I want the Americans to just try and imagine how that was for us. Every one of our cities was flattened, with thousands and thousands of men, women and children dead. And while the dads were away fighting the Nazis, their wives and their babies, their young ones, were being blown to bits in their houses and apartments in densely populated cities. The Germans suffered the same. And many men came back on leave to find their whole families were wiped out. But we did band together and we stood strong, and there was no shenanigans or riots or looting and all this nonsense. But we don't live in that Britain. We don't live in that America today. We live in a very different place, because these left-wing people, these socialists, have engineered our societies to be multicultural and told us it was a good idea. Now, the only comfort we can get out of this, because we know it's not a good idea, we know it's all going to go up, is most of these urban elites who treat us with utter contempt and who have forced upon us this massive immigration problem. They live in the inner cities, in their fancy $1 million apartments in London, in Manchester, in Leeds, in Glasgow, in New York, in Houston, in Oregon. They live in them. They live in those places. And those are the places that are going to burn when it all kicks off. They caused this. We never asked for these people to come here. They forced them on us. And they will not band together and be good Americans or good British people. They will not. They will become feral and they'll become selfish, and we will be their victims. That's what's going to happen. That's where we're going to go. But again, I must stress to people that you must cooperate with the authorities if you can, and help those who are trying to help us. Keep an eye out for the old people. And be careful if you're going to try and help old people. Make sure you've got a mask, make sure you've got gloves, make sure you've got clean clothes, because you don't want to give the old person the virus. You take them a bowl of soup and then you kill them. So be very careful how you approach old people. But look after your neighbours, look after the elderly, look after the young families with babies. And especially people who maybe their husbands are serving in the military or in the prison services or in the law enforcement agencies. Those women are in the house by themselves with their young babies, and they could be struggling. So keep an eye out on them. Men, keep an eye out on them. Look after their safety, personal safety, and look out for their welfare. We have to have humanity, and we have to have decency, and we have to have Christian virtue in this situation. And again, just make sure you're not sucked in and you spend all day watching YouTube, because there are so many lunatics, crackpots and crazies on YouTube. You will go crazy watching them. So don't do it. Don't do it. If you need any information, come to the Templars. We will tell you the absolute truth. Remember, we have contacts in all the major churches throughout the world at the highest level. We have contacts in most parliaments throughout the world at the highest level. We have contacts with the security forces, with the police, the law enforcement agencies throughout the world. We have the actual contacts. We're not sitting behind a desk talking nonsense and pontificating what we think. If we hear things, we will tell you. If we know things, we will tell you. So, and the whole idea is to keep everybody informed, keep everybody calm, and let's get through this together. This is only the start. What is this now, day 3 of our broadcasts? There could be 500 days of this. 500 days of looking at me. You might be praying for death at the end of this. 500 days listening to me. I'm sorry. We'll try and get some other people in and rotate this, because I could not inflict 500 days of this on you. People will be jumping out their apartment windows. So we'll try our best. Now remember, please, you need to share these videos. We're relying on you. If you cannot be bothered using your finger, there's something wrong with you. Just share this to people, for goodness sake, because not a lot of people are doing it. I can't understand it. And like the video, click subscribe, press the bell and comment below. Please do it. Now, let me just have a quick look at this. I know I went over the time, but let's have a wee quick look. I don't understand that. Station Road Chippy has always been good. Aye, that's right. Who? In Kidderminster, well, remember, a wee bit far away from it. But that's good. Aye, everybody knows. Okay. Who have we got here? Antonio Francesco. Caroline never tried it. Thanks very much. Anybody else? What's this? Don't know. Not sure of it. I'm not sure I recommend cannibalism. I wouldn't try it. No, possibly not. The army are guarding the sheep in Fife. Yeah, that's from sex offenders, no hungry people, I can assure you. Okay, who else is on? Have I missed anybody? Charlotte Ray, Alan McVicker, Heron Gate. Listen, I can't get through everybody because time's against us. I hope you've found what I've said interesting. I hope you've found it informative. I hope I can wean you away from these clowns who are on YouTube and these idiots are putting all this nonsense out because it's dangerous and you don't need it. And things will get more intense. Things will get a wee bit scary, no doubt about it. But if you can come on this channel, you'll either find me or one of the other lads who are mature, well, I don't know about sensible, but we're mature and we know our stuff and we've got contacts with people who know their stuff and we'll tell you what you need to know. We won't make up things, we won't tell you lies, we won't give you gibberish. So just batten down the hatches. I think today or tomorrow, Boris is going to announce that basically everybody's off work. They're talking about paying everybody, like Trump's doing in America, $1,000 or £1,000 a month. But remember, that means you're going to have to pay your rent and you're going to have to pay your food. It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. But if we get that, it'll be good. But how long will we get that for? Because the stock market's crashing. The share price is going down. Every single day we've got less and less money available. And money's been devalued. The pound's collapsing. So will they be able to keep that up? I don't think so. But even if they do it in the initial stages, it would be helpful. And I know people are struggling financially. But again, sadly, we're going to be launching multimedia channels. We're going to be launching a humanitarian thing. So the Templars need a bit of your hand. And I know everybody's skint. So, whatever you can do, if it's a fiver, throw it in. We need your help. And, we are a family. We need to stand together. That means we need to act together and we need to bond together and we need to always take up the burden. And it's the usual. Everybody leaves it to one or two people who are really good. You shouldn't do that because they could be struggling as well. If everybody does a little, a whole big giant thing could be done. But if a lot of people say, well, I'll leave it to somebody else, then it means the other people have to step up to a much higher degree. And it's not fair to them. Come on, it's not fair. So let's all do a wee bit. Let's all try our best and get organised. And over the next few weeks, you'll see what we're going to roll out. And it'll be exciting. And it'll keep you informed. And it'll maybe give you some comfort, consolation. And we might even do some for the kids as well. We'll see what we can do. Whatever we get depends on what we can do. So we'll see. Well, that's all from me. And again, until tomorrow at the same time, stick close to God and you won't go far wrong. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
The threat is real, and we are on the front line. In a world of misinformation and attacks from the left and mainstream media, censorship, deplatforming, it is time to call out the fake news and bring you the truth. We are the Knights Templar. Visit our website and join today. We are the Resistance. Deus Vult.